All right, now that we've got all of our sales channels added, now we're going to go ahead and just do overall basic on-page conversion rate optimization for the site. So I'm pretty happy with this. It's not ready to start running ads, but you can see here on screen, this is kind of, a pretty good example of what the site should look like. I'm just going to highlight a few points that I did and things that I did to make it look like this. And then after we onboard suppliers, before we start running ads, we're going to come in and we're going to work on more of the back end along with more of the front end. We add a little bit more. This is about, 40, 50% of the way, which is enough to onboard suppliers. And then before we start running ads, then we do a few different things. So I'm just going to highlight what we see on page here. So, I'm not going to go over too much CRO, but I want to go over just like our color palette. The store is reasonable as far as it goes along and looks at it. Like if someone looks at it, we have our times, we have our phone number. Everything should look pretty much like this. The color palette is one of the most important, making sure we follow the palette and just have like basic on-page colors looking the same. Also, we want to make sure we have this one here. I don't recommend using a lot of the additional like scarcity options, like 3 remaining or whatnot. I found those don't really convert. What I would recommend is really having your site look very similar to this one. You'll notice this big logo here. I'm just setting that here, and we're going to go over that in phase 4. And this also, you'll notice, is slightly different. We'll go over that also in phase 4 during our right before we run our ads. Now, scrolling down, also notice this paragraph is somewhat important. Feel free to copy and paste that if you'd like. I found this to work really well. It just kind of gives you, it recommends the 100% best price guarantee, and it just highlights that right under the shipping dates. Scrolling down, we'll see we have this pop up at 20%. We're scrolling down. We have, we can read it. This is all the context. I created like a little kind of logo here. This just goes over that offer, which I'll highlight later on. So, but I recommend using this box here as some sort of promotional material as well. Then I'm pretty happy with this at the bottom. One thing we want to get, okay, I'll get to that in a second. But also these apps here. So TrustedSite, you'll see what this looks like once it's installed. So we get all these certified kind of verifications. We verify our phone, email, the contact form, and the back end. You want to do all those verification things. Then you get like about the business, you fill this out. It's more of a professional, shows our LinkedIn, return pages, contact, etc. And then about trusted site. So this is what shows up on the free version without the, but it's still quite popular, it works quite well. And then it highlights down here near the add to cart, so it gets noticed. You'll also notice the wiggles here and the moving around. That's good, we want that. So keep that going. So this one is actually the exit pop. So this is in the OnePlus app. I'll show you that in a moment. This is that Wonder Wheel, and then this is Tawk.to right here. So I'm going to show you a few of those different features and what they actually look like and how they all come together on the store. And remember, right now we're optimizing, for conversions, obviously, but also we're optimizing for onboarding suppliers. This is the key next step that we're getting into. Right now in your store, you're only going to have demo products. So it'll look something like this, or obviously this is where you use your own creativity. This is where you use any sort of kind of things that you think might be good as far as your color palette. I think is where the creativity comes into place. As far as infrastructure, I'd really recommend that it looks quite similar to this. Because this is really there's a few things that can be modified, but really try to get pretty close to this one. And then we'll go over later just to highlight 2 additional things before we wrap up the conversion rate optimization portion. Here, later, before we start running ads, we're going to put a, so this is a floating tab, is what it's called. Right-hand side of the screen, floating tab. And then here we're going to end up putting judge.me floating tab right here. It's going to say our reviews. Once we have products and then we add their reviews, then we're going to put that here. And then also here, right here or somewhere here, we're going to be adding a social proof pop which highlights other customers. So that'll be the last two parts as far as CRO, and then all of the back-end stuff. So the main thing here and the main idea is what we call like a slide effect. So, you know, once the customer lands on the product page, we have the add to cart above the fold, meaning before they slide down. So like just this first opening page. So the add to cart should preferably be above the fold. I've seen cases where, you know, it has to be below because of variance, etc. In this case, we like to have it above the fold if possible. Anyway, scrolling down, you know, so this is sort of a slide, right? So as you scroll down, then boom, you add to cart, right? Simple, one option. You see what I'm highlighting here? It's not complicated. So I'm not offering like recently viewed products. I'm not offering, you know, other products like that. No, just what I'd recommend as far as conversions is having one product page with one action. This is really the slide effect. So you roll down the site, you're going down the slide, you're getting more promotional material, and then boom, you have one option, which is add to cart. These are here, but they're just mega menus, right? So they kind of fade into the background, so to speak, or they can call if they want to have a question, right? One thing to highlight on these stores is that not everyone calls, right, or messages. Only a fraction of the total traffic actually reaches out. But of the ones who buy, they're almost always people who reached out. So we really want to highlight those people and really give them phenomenal service as best we can. And I'll show different features. Like, let's go ahead and hop into that real quick. So Talk.to, how did I optimize it like that? So this is Talk.to here in the back end. When you get in the back end, you're going to see settings like this. I recommend filling everything in. Fill in your logo, your discovery listing, you know, fill these details out, description, wherever you can do something, fill it in. Now, how do we change the interface? Go to channels, chat widget. And by the way, you can't get here through the Shopify. You have to go to Talk.to.com. So Talk.to.com, and then you can log in, and then it'll have access to this page. So chat widget, so we have the widget here. Then we have the color for the widget. I hit advanced. Then I can change the widget, how it looks, all the features on that. Widget content, I don't think this is, oh yes, yeah. So here you can change the texting, the text of what the words say. Good. And then here, so these settings are okay. You don't need this, or let's leave it right there for now. This slide is good. So you can use these settings right here. And then there's one other thing that's important. Where is it? Those automatically save. Some of the boxes you have to hit save for it to save, so make sure. And then the other one is a tricky one. Where is it? Page. Give me a second, let me find this. Settings here. So settings and then triggers. So what this here is, this is a welcome trigger. It's one of the most, it's very annoying. So this is one of the biggest things, small mistakes that even advanced people make on the store. We don't want this to expand automatically or take control of the page automatically. So this welcome message, what this does is this like elongates and prioritize and pretty much opens the chat widget, the chat bubble, without anyone clicking it just when they join the site. So to even start surfing the site, you have to X the bubble and then start browsing, right? So really key to have this off. So what you want to do is go in here and then just disable it and then save. And there's lots of cool features in Tawk.to. Some of them are really interesting. What happens primarily is people can leave a message, or a lot of interesting features. You can leave messages, and then you can look who's on site at the moment. And then whenever someone messages, you jump into the chat and you can connect with them. So it's a chat function, but I really like it because some of their what I use is the AI assist. So I did them. I don't know what this. It's a brand new account. I'm not sure. I don't know what that is. But anyway, this AI assist feature, I use it on my main store. This one might not be like set up properly, so it's giving that error. But I used them for virtual assistants for a long time to do 24/7 chat support. They were really, really good. They set up my back end, so all the information the AI runs off of just uses that AI. It's $30 a month. It's like better than people. But that's obviously way, way more advanced. But just some of the features that are coming down the pipeline, I really like Tawk.to. All right, so back on the site after that. So that's this here. And then TrustedSite, the one that I went over here. What you do is you just log in through the mobile app, and then you just do all the stuff you can do. So I have to do the phone verification and I think mailing verification still. But do this part. And really it's just about putting in the details of your business. Verified business here. So like doing this details here, and then there's another part, directory listing right here. So filling in this information as well. Putting all your social media links, your contact pages, all this stuff is just going to give you a little bit more juice and credibility, and it's what they display on the site. So you want to make sure it's fully filled out. Okay, cool. So that will look like that, and then eventually it will also, before doing paid traffic, we'll have the banner here from TrustedSite that's going to offer the customer $100,000 of identity theft protection. This is really a powerful tool, so we're going to use that before we run traffic. All right, cool. So let's get out of TrustedSite. OnePlus, this is this one here. So OnePlus is a little bit. I really enjoy it. I use it a lot. It can be slow sometimes. But what I did is I went under campaigns, under store, and then sometimes it just takes forever to load, especially on a free plan. So try to do this one off hours. I don't know. It just takes a really long time. But what I did, I set up this campaign here. So this is actually an exit pop the first time. So there's a whole bunch of settings in there. Let's see if it'll actually load. So here, so it's the one on-page pop. Oh, here we go. It's working pretty well. So it's the spin wheel option. You pick a theme. There's a lot of options. Just pick one that works for you. And then go to next. And then you can just optimize this however you want. I mean, it's just fully functional. Do you know what I mean? So you can go through here. You can do whatever you want. Anything. Keep going next. Coupons. You can add coupon codes. You can make it fun. I'm eventually going to add some sort of promo here. But kind of traditionally in the beginning, I like to just start with a standard free shipping promo. I mean, it hits home. It works almost as good as discount codes sometimes. So I recommend just starting with free shipping there. And then as you build your site and as you're getting more creative and running more offers and testing things, then test out different types of offers here. I'll highlight the difference. I have two types of on-page offers. I'll highlight those again in Phase 4. But for now, I recommend just putting free shipping on this one. For branding, the free plan has their branding on it down here. And then also the pop-up box. Yeah, so just go through here. This is pretty self-explanatory. This is where you want to use a little bit of your creativity. You can go through, make things bolder, smaller, bigger, add titles. A lot of customizable features, buttons, you can modify the decline page, the subscribe page after they subscribe, and all these different things. So go ahead and go through those and optimize them for yourself. And then make sure you hit save after you make those updates and hit next. This is a key part that I want to cover. This is like, if you were to copy and paste one thing from mine, it would be this. Okay, so here, this is fine too. All right, so when we have the intent, okay, so this is like what causes that pop-up to trigger. We do not want it on any sort of timer. We don't want that. We don't want it on pop up as soon as they get on the site. We don't want that either. We want it on 100% of the page. It could be 90%, 90 or 100, but 100 is pretty good. And then on inactivity, if they've been inactive for 2 minutes, or if they exit intent. This is the most important. These are optional, to be honest. This one is the one required one. So exit intent is what you want. And then show every 1 day is fine. And then stop showing after they subscribe. So after they subscribe, then stop showing the pop-up. And then this is the teaser trigger. So this little thing here is the teaser trigger. And so we only want to show that after the trigger hits on the site. So when you first come to the site, it won't show until you try to exit. Then the pop will show. And then if you click X on the pop, then this will start showing up. Right? And then you can always click it and pull the exit pop back up. And then the exit pop doesn't trigger anymore. So that's what that means here. So it's after the trigger. And then you can change the design of that right here. Just make sure you hit save before you go into it. Reminder triggers. Show reminder. I don't know what this is. Show stop. We'll just reminder. Reminder will only show when only once after whichever trigger event happens first. Reminder will only show. Yeah, I don't know. I have to look into that one. Reminder design. I haven't used that one. Oh. You know what this is? This is actually quite good too. So this is when you first opt in. This is a new feature that is added in. So when someone first opts in and they get this, they get a code, right? And then when they get the code, there's a little header that pops up here. And that little header is going to give you the code. Don't forget your coupon code, and then it shows the code there, and they can X out of it. So that's describing that little box, how you want that to show. You can use these settings, or if you have something that makes sense for you, you can use that. And then add to cart, I'll look into these. These are newer ones as well. Shopify. Oh, this is a lot of cool things. You can do like a add to cart after a certain product if you want to do different sort of promos or different products. I'm not going to use that right now. So lots of different things. There's so many different functionalities in all these apps. Anyway, so once you do that, go to next and make sure you save it. I'm not going to save because I'm pretty good at the settings right now. All right, cool. Then autoresponder. So this is just going to be the email that gets generated to the customer with the link. You can edit that as you want. Just hit edit, then you can edit the email. And then next is going to be the SMS. So this is going to be the SMS that gets sent out. I don't think I've got it active. I think I have to do some verification. You got to do this TCPA compliance before you can send SMS. So make sure you do that first. And then you can send SMS, and then also we're gonna have an autoresponder sequence as well. So I'm not gonna do that right now, but that's part of the process. I think you should probably do that as well, if you're gonna use one, which I do recommend. Okay, cool. So then after that, you just hit review. Waiting for it to load. And then, so the site's going to look a little bit like this. And I went over kind of the different ideas and structures that got me here. This is a OnePlus app. This is Talk.to app. This is the Trusted Site app. And then everything else is just the theme. So the theme can wiggle and waggle and do all these different little things, based on, I don't know, there's just different settings in the back end. So I recommend having these wiggles. Because what it does is it shows to the person, hey, this website's quote unquote alive, right? There's going to be someone here. This is active, right? Which is really the next important part when we get deeper into the CRO. Then there's that social media pop and those judge.me reviews. Those two things combined, they really make the site come alive, so to speak. Okay, cool. So I hope that this was really self-explanatory. I mean, there's no coding involved. This is all just creative work, right? You're getting in there, you're checking the settings, you're making sense of how you want things organized, your color palette, your logos, get creative with it. Try to mimic a lot of the stuff that I have done here as it's been proven to work. All the stuff that I'm showing here, again, it's not because this is what I think is the best. It's not, it has nothing to do with that. It's just after testing and watching many on-page experiences, this is the style of site which seems to generate the highest conversion rates possible for their products. So it's strictly based on results. And not only results in one case study, across upwards of 10 plus people who have implemented these strategies across their brands. So just to highlight, where this comes from. So be creative with the color palette. Overall, try to just follow this site. A Better Business Bureau, I'm using this logo as I'm going to register, as you should register with them. You can sign up for free. So if you just want to get in there, it's bbb.com. I'll go more into it in number 4, but I also recommend at some point, as soon as possible, registering for a 1-year account. That gives you the accreditation. And in the US, as most people know, for whatever reason, this nonprofit, it is a nonprofit. As I work with them, I've spoken with them, I know them, different branches around the country, that the American people just seem to trust the Better Business Bureau, which is what this is. So you highlight here that you're with the Better Business Bureau, you register with them, you pay an annual fee. I think right now, it might vary state to state. I think right now it's about $65 a year, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe more, maybe less. I mean, they vary wildly. It might even be 300. You have to really double check with your local place. Just go to bbb.com or bbb.org, I believe, and you can get all the stuff from them. So I'm not going to go in more detail into that now. I'll highlight it more in phase 4. Now, at this point, let's highlight the moment and put our stick or whatever in the sand and triumph that we have a site that is now mostly completed. There's a few optimization things that need to be done. We have to connect a few wires, so to speak, on the back end. Overall, this is ready to start onboarding suppliers. This absolutely 100% unequivocally concludes the end of phase 2. So now, pat yourself on the back for making it this far. We've come a long way. And now, the next video that you watch is going to be on phase 3. We're going to start getting ready. So at this point, we have get started. We've gotten started, right? As you can tell, a little more than gotten started. And now we're going to go ahead into getting ready. So we have to sign up suppliers, add their products, set up our merchant center, and this is going to be more into phase 4, I decided. Little spoiler alert there. So we're going to get really into phase 3, and then the beginning of phase 4. Let me just do this real quick. Beginning, not beginning, at the start, how about that, of phase 4, we will complete on-page CRO, tie up loose ends on the back end, and run our ads. Bam. So phase 4 is really going to be about wrapping up loose ends in the back end with the on-page, making sure autoresponder sequences are set up, all the email back end, making sure all of those are tied together with a nice bow, make sure all of our triggers work, etc. And then start running our ad account, and then we're running traffic, we're driving sales. And then after that, we have our bonus package, which I'll get to after that portion. So again, congratulations. Hop on the next video immediately. Let's get right into phase 3. See you soon.